Hello, hello. What is up? As you guys join in, hashtag I'm here. If you're watching on replay, hashtag replay. We're going to be recording a podcast episode. So I'm going to be just speaking into the mic, speaking into the camera here. But if you see me looking across, it's because I want to acknowledge you guys. So we got YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn right here. We got TikTok right here. And we got Instagram right here. All right. So as you guys join in, hashtag I'm here. If you're watching a replay on Facebook or YouTube or Instagram, it's just a hashtag replay. All right. So we're going to get this podcast recorded. And we're going to be talking about why transformations will take much longer than you actually think. Okay. So we're going to be going live in 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the Real Results Podcast. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about how lasting transformations take time. Okay. A transformation is going to take much longer than what you may think. Most transformations are going to take much longer than what you may think. So let's talk about transformations and let's talk about why so many people fail in their own transformations. Okay. So real transformations are going to take time. And before I get into the details on that, I want to define when I'm talking about what a real lasting transformation is in the context of this podcast. Okay? For me, what a real lasting transformation is something that you don't rebound from 30 days after or 2 months after. So a lot of you that are listening or watching right now have lost a lot of weight in 30 days or 60 days, and then you gained it back and even more back in the same amount. Okay. Because I know some people right now that are going to be. I'm talking about if you've lost a certain amount of weight in a month, okay, and let's say you lost 20 pounds in a month, that's great. And kudos to you. But how did that work after? You likely gained all of that weight after, okay, and you were not able to maintain that weight loss. Okay. And most people aren't in this boat, but I'm going to talk about this for a second. Okay. Um, let's just say like you competed in a fitness competition, okay, like bodybuilding or bikini or something like that. Okay. They had at one point they had a coach, or maybe they researched to like just starve themselves. Okay. The coach didn't know what to do other than just to keep adding like more and more cardio and keep cutting more and more calories. And then what happens is after the show, this is a typical thing that happens after the show, this person gains all their weight back. Okay. They fall off completely because they didn't build good habits going into it. Now, I'm not saying there's not times that you need to push and whatnot, but I'm talking about those coaches and those people that have just done like extremes to hit those goals, right? What happens is they fall off completely post show. Okay. Then they fall into this like depression or just feeling tired of gaining all of that weight back and living in that body that they worked so hard for. And then they go back to what they knew, which was extreme dieting, right? Or like working out 7 days a week for 2 hours a day. And then you're in this vicious cycle of like exercising, losing a lot of like exercising a lot, doing a lot of cardio, cutting all your foods out, losing a lot of weight, and then gaining it back because you're not able to do this, right? So after the show, this person like gains all that weight back. Okay. And I know I was talking about competitors right now, but this happens literally every day from just the regular gym goer, right? The normal gym goer is doing this in one aspect or another every single day, which is probably why you're listening right now. You've probably done something like this, like Optavia or Herbalife or Arbonne or some kind of detox bullshit, right? Or done 1 hour of cardio every single day and you lost a lot of weight. Well, it's like, no shit. You're burning through a ton of calories, right? So, like, here's the thing: when a new client of mine joins the program and they don't lose 10 pounds in their first week, right? I have to set some clear expectations with them. Okay. Because like strategy and telling them what to do is one thing, but implementing it is another. And I would much rather a client lose 1 to 2 pounds a week and keep it off, okay, instead of losing, I don't know, 10 pounds in 1 week, all right, and then not losing anything else for the following 3 weeks of the month. Because we're humans, we're not robots. Okay. So there's two things to talk about that. There are two caveats to that. All right. Number one, it is demoralizing. Like if you are one of those people that just say me if you're watching live or yeah, just say me if you're watching live or on replay, but like it is demoralizing when you go from like losing a ton of weight in 1 month or 1 week and then not losing or gaining, even worse, gaining most of it back the next month or week, right? So it's demoralizing to go for or sorry, demoralizing to go from crushing it your first week to staying stagnant for the next few weeks. Okay. That's number one. Number two is you have this is the most important thing, and this is kind of the main the bread and butter of today's podcast is you have to remember that it took you months and years to gain this weight or get out of shape. It took you months and years to gain this weight and get out of shape. And I know that you know this already, but I also want to discuss the habits behind it all. Okay? Because the point that you're at right now has taken you months, has taken you most of you months and years to get to. So it's going to take you time to break out of these bad habits. And for some people, it's going to take months. And then for some people, although this is not the popular answer, it'll take a year longer to break out of these bad habits. Now, if you guys are watching my 12 Weeks to London cutting series on YouTube, shameless plug. If you're watching that, I discussed that. I'm currently on the cut right now, myself. And over the last 2 years, like I, as a fitness coach, let my excuses get the best of me. You know, the same, very similar to some of the excuses that you might be using, right? That work is taking up my time, my clients are taking up my, my time. Not that, for my clients listening, like you're not taking up my time. I'm making that excuse, right? I have to make sure that they're taken care of before me. Okay. I know what I need to do, so I could just do this quick. I could just do it in the flip of a light switch, right? But the irony of that and the irony of me knowing exactly what I need to do was procrastinating to do it. Because I know that I could, like, again, turn that switch on or off if I need to. Okay. If or when I need to. But that I did not take into effect what I spoke about earlier, what I just spoke about a second ago, which was those little bad habits that I created and I built up over, over the years and along the way. So coming from an experienced coach that has been in the game for 10 plus years and transformed his own body numerous times and that teaches clients how to do this on a day-to-day basis, it will sometimes, like a true transformation is sometimes going to take much longer than you expect. Okay. Depending on how bad of habits that you've built up over the months and years, it can take 4 to 6 weeks to finally get that like aha moment and start making progress. And then you might sabotage yourself, okay, and go back into your old ways. But I'm here to tell you that as long as you keep working on the little things that you know will propel you forward, and continue chipping away at these bad habits, eventually you will change these bad habits into good habits. So, some habits that you can start doing today. And if you guys are watching live, just type these in the chat because you learn by writing, right? It becomes second nature. Okay? So some habits that you can start today are number 1, tracking your food ahead of time. Number 1, tracking your food ahead of time. So if you track your calories and you track your macros, track your food ahead of time instead of just as you go. Number 1, track your food ahead of time. Number 2, knowing exactly what you're going to eat for the day instead of just winging it. 1 and 2 kind of go hand in hand. So you need to know exactly what you're going to eat for the day instead of just winging it, or my favorite term, eating clean. So number 1 is track your foods ahead of time. Number 2 is know exactly what you're going to eat for the day instead of just winging it. Number 3 is be accountable. Here it is. Number 3 is be accountable, okay? That's the short part of it. But the long part of it is be accountable to somebody that you deeply do not want to disappoint. I hear it all the time. Like husbands and wives try to keep each other accountable, and then one of them calls the other one out, and then a big fight happens, and it's like, dude, it's not your husband or your wife's job to hold you accountable. It's their job to be your partner in other aspects, not to be your trainer, right? So you need to be accountable to someone that you deeply don't want to disappoint. With my clients, what I do is we have a check-in system. So I check in on them throughout the week to make sure they're doing their job and doing what they need to be doing. Okay. We do weekly live trainings in our I actually just got off of a live training with them, but we do weekly live trainings in our private community to teach them more about training, nutrition, or just keep their mindset right. Okay. And I have a check-in form that they fill out at the end of each week. So I make sure that they're set up for the weeks to come, and we tackle any obstacles that come up, okay, in the previous week, or sorry, that came up in the previous weeks, and we tackle any obstacles and get a game plan going for any obstacles that are going to arise. Okay. This way, they not only get the knowledge, but the accountability as well. So basically, is what I do is I hold them to a higher standard than they've been holding themselves. Okay. So number one, just as a review, we're tracking our foods ahead of time. Number 2, we know exactly what we're going to eat. Number 3 is be accountable to someone you deeply do not want to disappoint. Okay. And then number 4 is set specific days and times for your workout. Set specific days and times for your workout. Okay. And stick to them. Stick to these days and times. I have to say this every time I talk about training and working out consistently and whatnot. I have to say this because I think it's so important. But I feel like it's important to know this and just to say it over and over. But you have to make your workouts important meetings with yourself that you do not miss. You wouldn't do it with work. You wouldn't do it with a best friend that just showed up to your doorstep and wants to catch up with you. So stop doing it to yourself. Okay? These are important meetings with yourself that you don't miss. Stop finding an excuse or a reason to not work out and make it happen. I just tell my clients that if you don't have time, open your phone and look at your screen time on social media or texting or whatever. I guarantee you can make 30 minutes to 1 hour a few times a week. Okay? So, guys, I want you to remember that lasting transformations may take longer than what you expect, but that's okay. Okay? A lasting transformation may take longer than what you expect, but it will be worth it. Okay? Because stacking some of these good habits, like the ones that we just explained, is going to help to prevent you from yo-yo dieting and going on extremes with cardio and exercise down the road. and it's going to give you these lifelong results that everyone says we want. We all say we want to make fitness part of our lifestyle. We want to make it a habit. This is how you do it. Not by jumping on like Optavia or something like that, or some kind of a detox or some shit like that. We're going to lose 20 pounds in a month and then gain 18 pounds the next month. Okay. Okay. So the good habits that we just spoke about is what's going to give you lifelong results, and the lifelong results that you're truly looking for. All right. So that is it for today's podcast. I hope it helped. If you aren't already subscribed, make sure to subscribe. We are on all podcasting platforms under the Real Results Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll catch you all on the next episode. All right. Facebook, TikTok, IG. That is it for today's podcast. I hope you guys got a ton of value from it. You'll get there. You're just starting. Yes. Good. Good. It's never too late to start, and it's never too late to build up good habits. Cool. Questions, comments, concerns? TikTok? Good. Awesome, guys. Hope you guys got a ton of value from this, and I'll see you on the next podcast.